LEGO Dimensions is the game that keeps on giving. We are up to Wave 6 now, and I can't review this game like any other type of video game that I've been playing out there because so much of the game experience is tied to this assortment of collectibles, all of these toys, and obviously all of these huge brands that Warner Brothers and TT Games have been trying to incorporate into their universe-bending, mind-bending LEGO Dimensions brand, their overarching brand. And it's an incredible feat, I have to say, that I can just imagine the backroom deals on licensing and all the conference calls that have to happen, all the approvals. And it's tremendous fun. I gotta say that I've played all of these LEGO games with my daughter recently over the last year and a half or so. I've jumped into a bunch of them at least. My daughter Ruby adores the LEGO Dimensions game and the cacophony of it all, the silliness of it all, the just incredible out of nowhereness of it all. I mean, this year we've got B.A. Baracus and the A-Team van from the old classic Mr. T A-Team television show, which is it's just insane. It's just kind of ludicrous and crazy. But my daughter, who's 4, looked at his haircut and said, "I like his haircut. That's a nice haircut." And so instantly that became a favorite in our house, which is cool. There's a lot of familiarity with what's happening with these play sets. Obviously you get a couple of, usually in one of these boxes, they farm them out in different ways. Like this one, for example, they call the Fun Pack, which is just the character and a vehicle. You can also get level packs, which is what the Adventure Time level kind of represents. You get Finn and Jake the car and this crazy two-headed elephant thing that you actually need later on. The Adventure Time thing I'll get to in a second. And then there's team packs where you get a couple of characters and a couple of cars, and then there's story packs. And this is probably one of the biggest ones. This is the Ghostbusters, the new the 2016 Ghostbusters. But there's a familiarity with the way that they're carving everything out. You get a character and a vehicle of some type, or some kind of extra accessory that will help unlock levels or areas or something within the game worlds. The prices range basically from about $15 to $30, and sometimes they go on discount if they sit on the shelves for a little while. But you actually get quite a bit of toy in addition to some gameplay. Now some of these things just unlock a world that you can, sort of like an open world environment that you can cruise around in, like the A-Team world, and there's a Harry Potter world. They don't really give you a story through line in these particular packs, but what these sort of fun packs and sort of introductions to these characters really allow for is, of course, a future expansion with other characters and maybe a story pack. I guess that depends on how popular these things are. It was curious that Harry Potter is included in this launch collection here, and I haven't built the train yet, but there's actually a little train that comes with this set too. But Harry Potter isn't a story pack, it's just it's a team pack. And so you can cruise around in a Harry Potter world, and you can play as Voldemort and Harry Potter within the confines of the sort of story progression in the wider LEGO Dimensions game. But they don't have the Harry Potter story crafted yet. I would imagine that TT Games, now that they are working with Harry Potter in LEGO Dimensions, are going to be building us a much bigger Harry Potter world later on, or a Harry Potter story. The Ghostbusters story pack is actually, it's quite phenomenal because you get to play through the entire movie, and yes, it only comes with the Abby Yates character, but all of the other Ghostbusters are in the game, and you can play as them in specific sequences, and you'll need some of their abilities, like Holtzman actually can fix all kinds of items and stuff. But so can some of the, Gen 1 and earlier LEGO characters that you might have in your LEGO Dimension set. Like you may be able to use some of the abilities of Doctor Who or Doc Brown, for example, where you would normally have Holtzman. That's the kind of crazy mix and match of all of this thing. I always think of it as like the craziest bar joke, like Finn from Adventure Time, Ethan Hunt from Mission Impossible, Superman, and Abby Yates from Ghostbusters walk into a bar. And I mean, that's the game. I mean, that's how crazy it is. You are constantly looking at the screen in disbelief at the melange of different personalities that are bouncing around out there. Love the Ghostbusters story pack. Really dug the art and animation of the Adventure Time pack. I think that's a standout. And they not only have a story pack with Finn and Jake the car and the elephant, but you can also get another team pack with a couple of other characters. And I love this. This is BMO, BMO. And it's basically a Game Boy that characters can ride around on. It's really cool. I thought the Mission Impossible pack only exists, I think, to have quips from Tom Cruise, and the amazing Mission Impossible theme music plays incessantly throughout these levels. And in fact, Ethan Hunt, when he's punching stuff, it even sounds like, and it's a little too much. It's a little crazy, and it makes about as much sense as the movies do. And I can't imagine that, you know, there are so many like devout followers of the Mission Impossible lore that are going to get a ton of value out of this, other than the fact that it's a cool spy thing. It's got the aesthetics, it's got the cool music, but it just feels, especially for the younger kids, it's like, what the heck is going on? I had to explain what a spy was and why he's got guns and gadgets, and he's got this little helicopter thing that can, it's like a little drone ship that can fly through stuff. It just felt a little, even too bizarre for the LEGO Dimensions brand. But I guess what it kind of leans us towards is the possibility / inevitability of TT Games getting the James Bond license, which I think they would have a lot more fun with. There's a lot more sort of cartoony qualities in that franchise than there is in Mission Impossible. You know, I'm a fan of Mission Impossible, so I got some fun out of it. I don't think the younger players are going to dig it that much. And if you're not a big fan of the Mission Impossible world, I would just avoid this. There are sequences, though, and you'll notice this throughout LEGO Dimensions, where you could certainly use some of these characters, you know, to either access a computer or unlock a door or something like that. So you may feel that pull to collect them all. But you can kind of wait and hang out and wait to see which ones sell really well and then which ones go on discount later on. I think it's great that we don't have to kind of start fresh with a whole brand new, you know, LEGO Dimensions Volume 2. I think it's cool that you can just add it on. It's amazing that you can take your first gen stuff and your early stuff and mix it with all of these characters. I still threw in Batman all the time. I threw in Wonder Woman all the time, and Wildstyle, even from the LEGO Movie. Very fun. Now, one other thing I want to point out too about the story pack for Ghostbusters is they actually give you a separate background that you can put on the toy pad. You can take off the first background that came with the starter set and remove all of that, and then put the Ghostbusters themed one on. I thought that was a cool idea, but honestly, I like the sort of non-specific qualities of the first LEGO Dimensions set, so I wasn't compelled to replace that. But if you're a huge Ghostbusters fan, that's a nice little treat for you too. You get to build this and then put this in your background. Not bad for Wave 6. It's going to be interesting to see how LEGO Dimensions progresses throughout the rest of the year. I know we've got lots of cool characters and stuff to come. I'm going to give this Wave 6 set, this collection of all of this stuff, 8.5 out of 10. I've been having a blast, but I would definitely go for the Ghostbusters pack and the Adventure Time pack first. Hey, thanks for checking out that video on our EPN channel. It's just one small part of the things that we make around here. So if you liked it, don't forget to check out some of our other vids and hit that subscribe button.